Hi guys, it's Mrs. Milson. Okay, we're going to do some loops with array lists. Okay, um, don't forget a couple things. I have an array built right here, an array of strings. Okay, um, actually, I think I'm going to call this animals. Make it seem a little more appropriate. And then, um, and we're using our add method to add items to our list. And remember, it'll just add them in order from the front to the end. So this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And remember, it's kind of nice that array lists have that built-in print method. I don't have to build a loop to print the items in my list, which is nice. Okay, so there I have all the items. So what we're doing is we're going to create a for each, and a while. So for the for loop, we're going to loop through, okay, from the first index to the last, and we're going to remove any words that begin with the letter S. Okay, so let's do our for loop. Now it has to be less than, oops, animals. The length of the list, so that's the size method, okay, a little different word. And then of course we'll increment up. Okay, remembering which word is for which object is tricky. Okay, now what's going to happen as I go through this loop? Basically, I want to know if the first letter is an S. Okay, so I got to get the first letter, so I got to use the substring 0, 1, because that'll give me my first letter. I just want to know if that equals S. So the first thing I have to do is I have to get that. So I have to use my get method. I'm going to get the index, okay, the first word, and the substring of the first word. Spell substring wrong. 0, 1, because that'll give me my first letter, and see if that equals S. All right, so it's going to get the first word, cat. It's going to look at the first letter, C, and see if it equals S. This one doesn't, so nothing's going to happen. Okay, and then it'll increment up to the next one, check dog, increment up to the third one, it'll see snake. So what's going to happen when we see snake? Well, we want to remove it. So, and we want to remove whatever index it is. So at that point, it'll be 3. Okay, now let me run this as it is just so you can see what happens. Let's print out the list afterwards. And we're thinking snake, snail, and squirrel will be gone. Okay, snake and snail removed, but squirrel did not. Okay, because what's happening is every time the loop runs and then it increments up 1, when something is removed, it shifts it down to the left. Okay, so it changes the index numbers. So if something shifts into a position, an index that's already been checked in the loop, it won't find it. So when snake was removed, fish, snail, and squirrel shifted down 1. So then it checked fit. Then it didn't have to check. It actually didn't check fish. Then it went to snail. Snail was removed, but then squirrel went down, and it didn't check squirrel. Okay, because it kept incrementing up. All right. So what we need to do is we need to account for that inside of our loop. So all I'm going to do is when something is removed, I'm going to go down an index number. So it duplicates it checks that same index again. Okay, so if index when it finds index 3 and it removes it, and fish now becomes index 3, it'll take it down to 2, but then the loop will increment it back up to 3. So it rechecks index 3, which has now changed to fish. Okay, so now you can see what's happening. That's why it's always good to run your code and make sure it's doing exactly what you want it to do. Okay, so now it worked. So it kind of backtracked. Every time I removed something, it would backtrack and check that index again. Okay, now fish, of course, wasn't removed, but then when it removed snail and the squirrel moved down an index, it rechecked that index and it found the squirrel. So it was able to remove squirrel. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's something to think about when you're removing things from an array list in a loop. Okay. All right. I am going to let's do a while loop. What do I have set here? Oh, no, let's do a for each loop. Let's print out words that are less than 4 characters. Okay, so again, just playing with some of my string methods. How do we get the length of a string? I think it's the string.length, right? trying to remember all my string methods. Okay, so now we'll go through our loop. And I'm just going to call it, let's see, they are strings. I always forget to type. I always just call it element. That's just me. Oops. Animals. There's my list name. And then again, what's going to happen if, let's see, elem.length, right? That's our string method is, what did I say, less than 4? We'll print it, right? I think that's what I said. Yeah, print words that are less than 4 characters. Okay, so system dot. And then we'll just print the elem. Let's do it in a line. Okay, let's do it in a line so I don't have like a whole bunch of, in a straight line. Okay, that should do that. Let me get rid of some space here. Okay, so again, it's going to test every element, and if it has a length less than 4, it's going to print it. Okay, I'm not removing anything, I'm not modifying anything. So we should just get cat and dog, right? I was going to say, we've already removed snake, snail, and squirrel, so we should just get cat and dog, okay? Because this array actually this loop actually modified the array. This loop will not. Okay, this loop will just print. It'll just find a character and print. Okay, so all we get is cat and dog. Okay, let me put a blank line here. Okay. Okay, and then the last loop we're going to do is a while loop, and I think I created an int list in here, an int array list. Yeah, so I created an array list called nums. Just put a couple numbers in. So let's do a while loop, and if the value is below 50, we're going to change the value to 50. Okay. All right. So I have to set my counter first, and I'm okay using I because of. Sorry, I'm okay using I because of scope, because my I up here only exists inside this loop. Okay, so I should be okay using it out here because it won't read the other loop. And then I'll say while, let's see, while I is less than the size of the list. And again, let's go through and we'll say if, and again, I got to do nums.get because I got to look at each one. I could have used a for each loop also, right? Let's see the index. Let's see, what am I saying? If it's less than 50, right? What do we want to do? We want to set it to 50, okay? So I'm going to say nums.set that index to 50. I do it. I have to do the index comma the value in that method. Sorry about that. And again, another method inside of ArrayList. Okay, so set will simply change the value in the array. It doesn't move anything. It doesn't delete. It just replaces the current value. So 28 should change to 50 and 13 should change to 50, right? Okay, and then of course I need to increment out here. And I think I'm good. That's my whole while loop. All right, let's print it. Actually, we should print it before and after, right? Let me print it before and after so you can see it. Okay, so we'll print the num list first, then we'll run our while loop, and then we'll see. Okay, so there it is before. Any number, that was that one, any number less than 50, so 28 and 13 got changed to 50. Okay? All right, I hope this was helpful, just showing you how to get through loops with ArrayList. So remember, when you want to go through each item, you've got to use that .get method to make sure you're looking at each item in the array list, okay? And then don't forget about any kind of loop or algorithm that you create that removes an item. You've got to account for that. So kind of backtrack your indexes within the loop so that if an element is removed, and something takes its place, the thing that took its place is not skipped in the loop. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and I will see you all later.